What's up, y'all? Goofy Rexic here, and hope everybody is doing well. And wanted to take some time and talk about the Ace of Raids event. We've had over 12 hours now to sort of kind of digest this information that was presented to us here. And boy, was it a lot of information, right? Too much details in my personal opinion. But kind of wanted to go through and talk about why this is sort of kind of what we wanted as a player base, but also why it's not what we wanted, or it wasn't implemented in the way that we desired. There's a lot of things here where I'm like, this is actually not bad if it was done correctly. And a lot of it is centered around the character selections. Some of it centered around what you'll see here is basically scourges being added to a raid that you don't even have control over because they're going to automatically be added. Certain things like that I'm just not necessarily a fan of, but we'll definitely talk about that here in this video. Now, if you have not watched the blog post, or let's watch the blog post, read the blog post already, we'll go through just some basic stuff just to kind of get you caught up here. So this event, Ace of Raids is gonna be one of the main milestones for the Rolling Rebel event. That's the month-long event, right? So this Ace of Raid milestone is gonna be featuring a new raid. And this new raid is going to have a separate milestone attached to it, where you're going to be able to get Gambit Shards and then some other rewards, disco balls as well. Now, this is scheduled to go live on June 15th at 5 p.m. Pacific time. This is going to be replacing the Greek raids for a 14-day period. And just like the Greek raids, you can run this every single 24 hours. I think you're going to be able to get a total of 14 runs. We're also assuming that that June 15th is going to be patch day. So this is most likely going to go live on the day of the patch, mainly because it did mention that Sunfire would be available for these raids, or that you can use them in these raids at launch. So therefore, we're assuming that June 15th is going to most likely be the day when this patch is going to go live. But yeah, there's some cool things that are here, but that I'm actually like, I don't know if I'm okay with it, but like, I am if it was just not done this way. So they're introducing these new traits, right? So just to kind of get you caught up, introducing these new traits. There's 4 categories of traits. They're broken them down into diamonds. There's a diamond trait, there's a club trait, there's a heart trait, and then there is a spade trait. And then they listed out the characters that are going to have these traits. Now, obviously, they probably listed them out just so that you'll know in advance, so that you can start preparing yourself for whenever these raids go live. So for diamonds, I like the fact that I won't be using cookie cutter teams. I'm just not a fan of some of the character options that are available to create teams, right? So if you're looking at diamonds, there's Domino, there's Deadpool. Like, I don't want to use them in any raid content ever. Gamora and Nebula, yeah, that's definitely a good, nice tandem that definitely could be beneficial for me. Strife, no. Magic is okay depending on who else you're using her with, but if you're not using her with any other Uncanny character or any other X-Men character, then most likely Magic is sort of a dud. She's not really going to do much for your team. Dr. Voodoo is actually okay. Morbius, less okay about that. Colossus, I guess they were like, okay, you have magic, so there's Colossus. Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man is an interesting choice, right? Because Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man, they have some synergy, right? But they're like an older synergy that's not a part of the meta right now. So I'm wondering, are some of these nodes going to still allow Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man to be good? If not, then yeah, I mean, then this list kind of still looks like poop, where it's only Gamora and Nebula that are good characters that have the diamond trait, right? And yes, you have Gambit, you have Dazzler, and you have Sunfire, but our thoughts on this team are just not very high, right? Then for clubs, there's Magneto, there's Loki. Silver Surfer is a good character. Spider-Punk is a good character on his team, but outside of his team, he's not an individually great characters, right? So Silver Surfer is the only character that I see so far. Okay, here's Star-Lord, T'Challa. Use him in the Tech Doom raids right now. Okay, we could definitely get some value there. But the rest of these characters, Yondu, Shatterstar, War Machine? Huh? Like, what was why did we go there, right? Hearts, Kitty Pryde, better on her team, not really gonna use it. Mantis, what? Okay, at least we have Emma. Spider-Woman, no. Agatha, maybe. You're gonna have a big Agatha if you're using her in arena anyways, right? So maybe we could get some value there. Ghost is actually a sneaky okay option. Speed bar reduction, ult extends, actually not bad. Sharon Carter, better with their full team, but just still get some value out of her, right? Ghost Spider, I like it. There's Nico, Misty Knight, Dagger, better with Cloak, but you can still get some value out of that there. You can give some offense ups to adjacent allies, so you might be able to get some good stuff from her there. But then for like spades, you have Morgan Le Fay. That's great. Deathpool, great. The rest of these characters probably not great. There's Jubilee. There's Thanos. Thanos could feed energy, right, to Deathpool and some other cosmic characters. Because for some of these nodes, you're going to be able to use multi-traits. So therefore, that might actually provide some good value for you there too, right? And there's Scarlet Spider and Spider-Man that are here as well. So there is some nice sort of solid synergy there. Like I said, some of these nodes, you will be able to double up and use 2 different traits. So there is a world where some of the cookie cutter teams that we've using, you'll at least be able to use part of that cookie cutter team for some of these nodes. But that's the thing. Like, I like that they're going away from the cookie cutter option, but I'm just not a fan of a lot of the characters that they've selected for us to have to use here. And then there's like this alternating enemy teams. So one of the new twists is that each node will feature 1 of 3 different enemy team compositions chosen at random when the raid is started. So you can see here for your M1, M2, and M3, you could get a random, you could load into the node and get Brotherhood, or you could get Wakanda, or you can get Defenders or Heroes for Hire. I actually like this a little bit. Now, some of them are going to be more challenging than others, right? Like, for instance, down here, Black Order and Thanos, depending on what comp you're using, could be difficult. Definitely Avenger or Infinity Watch, because that could include Secret Avengers, right? Or Young Avengers, so that definitely could be difficult. Down here, Black Panther could be tough because of that speed bar. You don't know how many Black Panthers are going to be in that node. There's Dark Phoenix, there's Silver Surfer, Web Warriors, RNG Fest, right? Infinity Watch again. So for some of these nodes, they could be challenging, but I do like the variety of that so far, where I kind of load into a node. I'm not facing the same matchup every single day. That got boring real fast with Greek Raids, which we just auto now. So now for these Ace of Raids, it's going to last for 14 days. At least we have that as an option where we're going to see some sort of variety there jumping into it. But I'm sure that after some time, you'll figure it out, like what works best and what doesn't. This right here is extremely controversial. The additive combat modifiers. The next twist of the Gambit raid are additive combat modifiers. As players progress through the nodes, different sections of the raid will add special rules for combat that will stack on top of the previous one. So essentially it's scourges, right? So like, and these are gonna stack, right? So you jump into MB1, when a player character blocks, they also gain stun. And then sorry, so let me make sure I'm reading this right? So add an additional challenges theory guys. For example, starting on M1, there will be 1 combat modifier. Starting on MB1, there will be 2 combat modifiers. Starting on MB2, there will be 3 combat modifiers. So, and these, from my understanding, as players forget different sections of the yeah, so you're not even picking this. Like, they're picking this for you, right? Like, this is literally what you're going to have to face when you jump into the node. So in M1, M2, M3, when a player character blocks, they also gain stun. You're also, as you progress, you know, right, like, or it could be when a player character uses their ultimate, all enemies gain 1 energy, or it could be at the start of a match, one player character gains disrupted, and that's for the first node. Then when you jump into the MB1 now, you're gonna get this, from my understanding, and then you're gonna get this, right? Like, you could get one of these, which is when a player character, so imagine like having, when a player character uses their ultimate, all enemies gain 1 energy, right? And then what if then you jump into one of these nodes where it's like all enemy special and ultimate cost is reduced by 1. So now it's like you're getting double effed, because now you're jumping into a node where whenever you use your ultimate, they're getting ability energy, and then also the energy, the cost to do their ultimate is now reduced by 1. Like, it's just, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this right here. This is like one of those things where they kind of just went too hard. Like, we were okay with you switching up and making it and using. We were kind of okay with you making us use different teams and not using cookie cutter teams. We were okay with the randomness of enemies, but then now you have these scourge modifiers that are just not great at all. So just not a fan. And then on top of that too, like, you have 10 difficulties, right? So it's all, once again, scourge all over again. Because now you have these 10 difficulties, which makes me wonder if they're probably going to do this again in the future, maybe just for other characters. The rewards we talked about briefly already. Some of the rewards for this are going to be there's going to be an Ace of Raids milestone, which is going to be a 7-day milestone that repeats twice, where you're going to be able to get some character shards for Gambit, Disco Balls, etc. But I don't know, like, my overall thoughts on this is like, Ace of Raids is kind of what we wanted, but it's also not what we wanted, right? Like, we wanted the opportunity to not use cookie cutter teams all the times. We wanted the opportunity to face different matchups where we're not facing the same team every single minute, where it's we're switched up a little bit. Like, we wanted that, but what we didn't want was another long event or another sort of convoluted event that was going to require so much work, heavy. I think this would have been more well received if it wasn't tied to a character event. Yeah, I think I would be okay with this if it wasn't tied to a character event, but the fact that this is now tied to a character event, granted the character is Gambit, who's not that great anyways, then maybe I probably would have felt differently about it if that was the case. But being that it's tied to a character event, I'm just not really a huge fan. So curious, guys, as to where your thoughts are with this whole thing. Like, what are you thinking about this event right now? Are you going to try to build towards this event? I'm going to tell you this right now. I'm not, like, whatever I got is whatever I got, boo-boo. That's what I'm using. I'm not building towards this at all. And then we'll figure it out from there. Hopefully I get a decent amount of shards. I really only need like 70 to get them to 5 stars. So I'll kind of just go from there. But I'm just curious, guys, like, where are you at right now in regards to this event? How do you feel about the scourges? Even though they didn't say scourges, they're modifiers. How do you feel about those? How do you feel about the random enemy teams? How do you feel about, like, some of the character options that we have available for these raids? Like, I would feel better about the characters if we didn't have the modifiers. Can I say that? That's kind of where I'm at. But listen, hopefully you guys like this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you do. And of course, leave it in the comments. I always want to hear what you guys have to say. Yeah, I mean, hit the notification bell so that you know when the videos do go live. Check out the links that are down below: Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, Discord, all that stuff, guys. Amazon coins too. If you're looking to save some money here on your Marvel Strike Force in-game purchases, and Amazon coins is definitely right for you. That is how I'm able to save 18 to 20% every single month on my Marvel Strike Force purchases. And on top of that too, if you do use my link, then that also supports the channel as well, guys. All right, listen, until next time, guys, love you guys much. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be safe. Bye.